Welcome to Find You Fridays. It's Friday, my beautiful friends. Wow, how does it get any better than that? It has been a wonderful week of many different aspects and attributes and things lining up, and wow. How does it get any better? So let me just jump in and just have a look at a couple of different things so that we can make sure people can find links, etc., etc. Okay, make sure that's come up. Yep, beautiful. Okay, awesome. How have you all been? I've been wonderful. Oh gosh, it's gotten warm in here again. That's okay. I'll be cool. I'll be cool. I might just get varying shades of red as we continue on. Maybe I'll just ask my beautiful, delicious other to pop the aircon on in here. And on low. Please. I see I didn't no, I did not melt today. I stayed very much at home for the lot of the day. I did go out shopping, so that was fun. And at that point, I almost melted. But other than that, no, it's been a beautiful day. I've enjoyed having a day where I did lots of research and fun things like that. So it has been a lovely day, actually. I just realized where I was going and why I couldn't find what I needed to find. So yay! I love it. I love it when the thing comes together, you know. There we go. Beautiful. Found it. Yay! Maybe my brain has melted slightly. It's melted over the week, put it that way. She says as she drinks her hot cup of tea. Perhaps that will even things out. Thank you. And thank you, just reminded me to put this on. I appreciate you so much. Oh, he's not being quite so attentive today. It's because I smashed him out with a spray. I didn't mean to. So I'm just going to go and sort this out myself. So give me a couple of seconds and I will be back with you. But first, have a look at this. Righty-ho, that's got that sorted out. Thank you very much for waiting for me. I appreciate you very much. The aircon is now flowing nice and gently, so I'm not going to be completely roasting. It's amazing, isn't it? We're just so lucky, so very, very lucky to have things like aircon. I grew up, I don't think I ever had aircon apart from in commercial buildings. So like there was no aircon in any houses I grew up in that I can recall. So it was quite the shift to having aircon at home. All right, so let's get busy. We've got a couple of, as you just heard, It has been delightful. It's been an interesting week, that's for sure. I had a few moments there where I was like in my reactionary brain, but I very, very quickly dialed it back down, or dialed it in, and made some progress, because then I was able to communicate myself properly after I did some deep breathing, some expanding out, some ho'oponopono, drank a little coffee. I was like, okay, I can do this. And sometimes that's what it takes, you know. Like we all have those moments where we just want to rip someone's head off. I think also it may have had something to do with the old new moon energy. That may have had something to do with it, but a lot of it was just reactionary stuff of, you know, feeling like I wasn't being listened to, even though my role stated that I should be. And that's when we get into those lovely little shouldy things. Hi, Edwina. That's when we get ourselves into trouble. Because as I'm learning more and more and more, and really having that sink into my little brain here, when we have those reactions, when we have those moments of going outside of ourselves, quite often what's happening is we are remembering something. We're having a reaction to a memory, and it's a memory of stuff in the past. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Melinda. I'm also doing it as well. I'm on the second video at the moment, and it's fantastic. I'm loving it. So it just makes so much sense to me, and much like in the book and I'm also listening to the 5th phrase, I think it's called, when I'm out and about. And so that's all Joe Vitale again. It's to do with Ho'oponopono. And, you know, even just those little things of knowing that so in the 5th phrase, he was talking about how he went from, you know, his background of like being basically, he was homeless for a long time. He was struggling and all that. And he managed to hit the internet market at the right time in marketing. And that was really how he got to be quite big or known. And then he did this thing called the attractor factor, and that's how he ended up, which was sort of using the law of attraction. And that's when he got approached by the lady who did the Secret. And then from there, he went on to be quite famous for appearing in The Secret. And he said in the book that I've been listening to today, the 5th phrase, is that at the time when he was starting to get really, really known for his work in The Secret, he'd actually kind of moved away from The Secret. And he'd been doing a Ho'oponopono and realized that the stuff in The Secret, while it was okay, it was of a lower vibration as far as your awareness, your consciousness levels than what Ho'oponopono is. And Ho'oponopono takes you to a much greater level of awakening. And I'm just like, oh, wow. And I can feel some of that happening for me too. There was something that I was spouting a little bit. And over the last couple of years of reducing my friend's thing about saying, I'm sorry. And because I felt like it was people pleasing. She's Canadian, so it's kind of like, it's in her culture to say I'm sorry, and taking like seemingly to take responsibility for everybody else's problem. Well, not everybody else's problems, but just yes and no. It was like a people pleasing thing rather than a healing thing. And I didn't berate her for saying sorry. I just asked her to stop saying I'm sorry all the time. And now I'm like, hey, there's this thing called Ho'oponopono, and it's I love you, and I'm sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you. And now I'm saying it for all sorts of things, but I'm not saying it to someone, I'm saying it to myself. And that's the biggest shift. It wasn't like I'm saying I'm sorry to everybody else. I'm saying it for myself. And to heal me, to cleanse me. And I think that's the biggest shift, but it certainly is like and there was some stuff with other modalities that I play a lot with, and I'm just like going, a lot of modalities, I would say the majority of them are about healing someone else. It's not about empowering them to heal themselves. And while the majority of the modalities that I play with are more about encouraging a person's internal awareness, it's about encouraging them to feel confident and strong within themselves, that they don't need me to continue their healing journey. Like, they can come to me, they can get tips and tools and all the rest of it, enough to get them going on their journey. And if they wish to come back and receive a little more, that gives them the next boost. Awesome, do that. But at the end of the day, your healing journey is yours, and it's your responsibility to have your healing journey and to take yourself on this healing journey. I even have it as one of the things that you have to tick when you book a session with me, is that this journey is yours. And do you agree to take full responsibility for your own healing journey? Because when we try to place somebody else in responsibility for us healing, that's where it falls down. And I knew that a long time before I got into the Ho'oponopono stuff. So this has been quite an interesting little tweak of my healing business and my healing for me and healing with my clients. I'm loving it. And I'm seeing some really cool responses, reactions, effects, if you like, in our own little household here within myself. It's been such a beautiful thing. So I will get onto this weekly reading, because we've got a couple of sessions that have already popped through, little donations. So thank you very much to both of you. And let's get the party started, shall we? So today being the 12th, because we are in the 12th, because we are in the Southern Hemisphere. Let's have a look. From the 13th through to the 19th of January 2024. Just asking the beautiful collective, what is the best way for us to work with these energies over this next week? What can we be aware of? How can we make the best of this week? Melinda, feel free to share the Ho'oponopono course details in the chat if you like. It's changing my life. Cool. Okay, we've got a cool week coming up. I'm looking forward to this. So this week coming up, you may notice that you are having a lot more symbology and things cropping up in your world that is like signs and symbols and things that are coming through for you to see and acknowledge. I know reoccurring numbers is something that has ramped up a lot for me in the last few months. And seeing, like even today was 333, and I'd sent something at 222, and I'd sent a message and it was a 1444 in length. And so there's a lot of that going on at the moment. You may see other symbols or spiritual esoteric symbols popping into your world a lot more. I have certainly been noticing these kinds of symbols floating up and around and sort of capturing my attention with a lot more frequency in the last little bit. So watch out for those. It is your team sending you messages. It's your higher self. It is the collective. Take note, write them down, be aware of them, because they are absolutely there for you to take note of and to make use of. The next card that we have is clairsentience, which is about noticing reoccurring physical and emotional feelings. So, hi, Brian. So the clairsentience, physical and emotional feelings. So are you hearing the same songs over and over and over again? Are you feeling certain sensations? Are you smelling things? Are you like these bodily reactions that are happening, and they're happening over and over again? Number one, I would say do ho'oponopono on them. Hi Catherine. So that is something just to be aware of, and especially when it comes to your body, and ask it, what is it trying to show you? What awarenesses is your body having right now that is a memory that it is responding to or reacting to? What is it that you are becoming aware of that perhaps you've been ignoring? Is there elements that are popping up in your body that are now asking to be released? Because there's a lot of that bubbling to the surface right now. As you grow, shift, change, and expand, it's going to bring up your crap as well as the people around you. So be aware of that and take it and take responsibility for yourself, for the things that you are aware of, the things that are coming into your world, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you can change this stuff. This is why the expanding out tool is so, so valuable, because what it does is it allows you to see the forest. In fact, it's not just the forest, it's the entire universe, galaxies, everything, the entire collective for what it is. And then you don't get caught up in the memories so much. Okay? So ask your body, hey body, what are you trying to show me right now? And see. Like I've had a repeating song in my head this week. And it's not one that I actually, the particular lyrics, if I was not as aware as I am around it, I would not wish to have these lyrics floating around my head, because it was about being suicidal. And I'm like, I'm not feeling suicidal. I don't think anybody around me is feeling suicidal, at least I hope not. So what did I do? I sat with it, I acknowledged it, and I went, okay. And then I tried pod and pocking it. No, it wouldn't leave. I tried drowning it out with other sounds. No, wouldn't leave. And I would wake up with this song in my head, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Suddenly I thought, what if whoever wrote that song is the one that requires some love? So to myself and to the song, I did Ho'oponopono. And what do you know? It like eased off. I had to do it a few times, but it eased off. And then I went for an entire day without it being in my head till I've just mentioned it now, and it's very lightly back there. So we will send it some more love. So there you go. Divine order for this next week. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. This is one of the hardest things to do, especially when your life is going to the crappers. It's so hard to go, what is the divine order here? What is the gift here? What is this giving me that I have not acknowledged yet? Why? Why is not a great question, by the way. But, and I do mean but, the thing to be aware of is that everything is in its perfect place. There is divine order. You agreed to this. Whenever you came into this world, maybe even before you came into this world, you agreed to this. And now it's up to you to love your way through it. And with a bit of humor, it makes things a lot easier. But look out for the things you're learning along the way. There was something that cropped up in my world this week around interactions with other people. And while I'm freaking amazing and magical, you know, sometimes other people can't always comprehend where you're coming from. And so they just go on their particular direction because they think they've got the right idea and they think that they're helping, but they don't listen to what you're saying until you change the energy. And that's what happened this week. I changed the energy and it was fiery energy. Suddenly they're listening. It was required. Didn't feel good at the time. But then I was able to flip it round, use the words, all good. This next week, you might find yourself being at the receiving end of other people's woes and worries. So as the counselor card has popped up, excuse me, everybody, my Lord. This might also, and that, hang on a second. Apparently we're moving a lot of energy today. So this could also be for yourself. In fact, I'm getting that. Yes, it is. So this week is going to be about using your words. It's going to be about taking your own counsel. So often, many of us have these moments of giving incredible intuition and advice and guidance and all these things. But how often do we take our own advice? So now is the time to talk the talk and walk the walk. Keep doing it. Okay? Be your own counselor, but also know that other people are going to be seeking you out this week too. And also right at the end here, we've got all is well. Everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to, with hidden blessings that you will soon understand. So when we get these two cards popping up in the same reading, so this is divine order and all is well, we know for sure, 110%, that things are probably going to look a little bit mixed up and a little bit confused and a little bit traumatic, perhaps a little bit chaotic. But just remember, all is well. Everything's in the divine order. Send it some love. Say, I'm sorry. Say, please forgive me and thank you. Put that on repeat in your head. And all will be well. Because what you're doing is you're taking your memories back to source so that they're no longer affecting anybody else. Yay! We're on a big, huge global cleanup and have been for a long time. And gratitude to all the other modalities that came before this one, even though the Hawaiian one is actually way older. It's circled back around as they do. And all the other modalities that have come before it have paved the way for it to meet this bigger impact as it is now. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So it's no disrespect to, the law of attraction or, your Reiki or your Theta or or access consciousness or, the goddess movement or plant medicines or, all this oracle stuff and tarot readers and psychics and mediums and all the things that have helped you and me over the years to get to a place where we can receive and honor the process of Ho'oponopono. Beautiful. Chakras, all that stuff. So grateful. And this week is going to be about hope. So I'm also getting a sense that card plus these two, even the spiritual understanding one, they're all going to help you to remember that there is hope. It's not like the world has gone to hell in a handbasket. It's actually going to be okay. And yay, how does it get any better? So with all of that, we say thank you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And let's keep moving. As you can probably tell, I've become a bit of a Ho'oponopono convert. I'm not upset by that. It means that I get to clear on a lot of stuff. And to me, if you know me from my Access Consciousness days, you know that pod and pocking is all about clearing. It's all about cleaning, which is what Joe Vitale talks about and Dr. Hewlin. It's all about, they call it cleaning, Access calls it clearing. There's other modalities that use like the cancel, clear, delete. It's all the same sort of thing, really. This one is just slightly different. And I like it. I like it for its simplicity. Everybody's trying to make it so much like about this big, big thing. Like, what's the advanced moves? What's this? What if this most simple thing is 4 phrases and they're the most effective? I like it. The Access Consciousness clearing statement, while incredibly effective, still takes over 15 minutes to tell you about all the parts and pieces of it. 15 minutes, at least. And now they've added actually another bit, so it's probably going to be 20 minutes long. Right. So, Melinda, my love, can you please put your question in the chat? That would be amazing. I appreciate you. I'll get off my soapbox now. I've had a very soapboxy kind of a week. Mind you, this platform kind of is my personal soapbox. All right, who wants to come and play with Melinda? Melinda's team stepped in. There we go. Oh, you've been doing Ho'oponopono. I can feel it. Ha! That's cool. Well done. So how do I know that, people? Because I am a kinesthetic healer. So as a kinesthetic healer, I feel in my client's body, like I feel what's happening in their body, in my body. And I can, when I first started in this healing business, I didn't realize that that's what was happening. I was like, oh my God, there's so much going on with my body, blah, blah, blah. And I very quickly realized that no, because it was one of the things that Access taught me, was that when you are giving a session, your stuff is completely to the side. And as a healer, you are now fully in tune with your person. And so I can feel it. Your back, your mid back is so much lighter. Oh, nice. Well done. Oh dear. Hi, Tanya. Oh, you're at Dad's tonight. That's beautiful. It's been hot today, huh? I saw you were out and about, enjoying the tour down under, if I'm correct. I did spy that. I thought, gosh, no, thank you. I'll sit inside in the aircon. Thanks. In fact, Melinda, it almost feels like I'm able to breathe easier. That's so fascinating. Wow, I created a new word. Fascinating. Good morning, Angelita. Woohoo! 5 a.m. I know that's my usual wake up time too. Okay, these are way too big. All righty, Melinda. So this is a very interesting reading. And it is confirmation and encouragement. So I'm just going to pop that as your preface. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a lot of green coming through. So that's obviously a lot of heart-centered stuff, which is beautiful, and purple, green and purple. So you're up. You've got those two things going on. Or if you're like me, your green is right here next to your heart. The purple. Ah, lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, so the first card that you've got is Rediscover Source, Come Home and Come Alive. So what I'm seeing with this one and what your team is like indicating to me is that this process of you letting go of these memories, of letting go of the pain and the trauma, of the heartache of your past, is indeed you coming home. And with that, your connection to your higher self, to source, to creation is going to be amplified hugely. Like I said, I'm already feeling huge changes within your body already. I can feel that there's a loosening up and a softening of those areas that were once very, very tight and sore. So congratulations. Thank you. Yes, it has been feeling different in the last few days. Plus, I feel different from our session the other day as well. Awesome. I think the Ho'oponopono has helped shift the residual dad stuff. Yes, indeed, indeed. You're going to like this one. It says, let your hair down. Delight in the gift of play. So as adults, we often get a little bit caught up in the seriousness of being a grown-up. And if we're very lucky, we can be around kids, and that's sort of like our excuse for playing. I solidly believe that the more we allow ourselves to play for the heck of playing, to notice the world as a place of childlike wonderment, the easier it is to let your hair down. That you don't require alcohol or anything like that to help you to get there. It's just, it comes from that heart-centered space of things like seeing bubbles and going, seeing a rainbow, or seeing a spider web with all the little dewdrops on it, and just like, wow, that's so cool. That, to me, all of that is play. But also getting your fingers dirty and being willing to just draw and scribble and make mess. Even though you know you're going to have to clean it up, it's okay. You can make a mess. You can take time to do a jigsaw puzzle, or, you know, I don't know, climb a tree. And all of that is perfectly wonderful. So let your hair down, my love. Have some more playtime and enjoy creating, whatever that means to you. The next card, which is adding on to the first two, is inhale the scent of life. The celestial banquet awaits. So as I said, this is all very much a confirmation and allowing and confirmation of what you have already been doing, and also a affirmation, a reinvigoration, and it just feels good. All the words. So inhale the scent of life. The celestial banquet awaits. There's actually little wee hearts and things in there, and it's got gems and all sorts of beautiful things going on with this card. This, again, is about coming back to source. Everything that you're ho'oponoponoing is allowing you to open up further, to receive with more ease, which is how we receive from source anyway. So you're removing the blocks from yourself from receiving from source. And how brilliant is that? Then you can play with the energies of Mother Earth and the other celestial beings, and, you know, the fairies and all of that sort of stuff, the garden fairies and the animals and all those awesome things, the lizard in your backyard. You know, you can start tuning into those finer details with a lot more speed and quickness. You may also discover that you'll be able to spot the things that are out of alignment with a lot more quickness as well. And then you'll be able to ho'oponopono those. Oh, Angelita, you're lovely. Thank you. The next card that we've got for you is wait for a solution, relax, and it shall appear. So wherever you're trying to push something, stop, Come back to the Ho'oponopono. As he said, it's tedious work. Keep coming back to it. Keep coming back to the things that brighten you, to lighten your day, your crystals, your rainbows, your things, your meditations, all those things. Keep coming back to them. They are the places where you will likely find those solutions when you're least looking for them. They will just appear as if by magic, and suddenly you've got a thing, you've got the solution. It's like when I was doing a lot of renovation work and I'd come up to a problem and I couldn't figure out what to do. I'd walk away, I'd have a cuppa, either of tea or coffee or whatever it was. By the time generally I had finished my cuppa, the solution was there. It's because I let it go. And that is what you have to, that's what your team is asking for you to do. Whatever it is that you're trying to push right now, let it go. It'll come. Send it love. Act with courage. Let your legs guide you. Interesting. So that to me says there's action required here. At the same time, the action is around being willing to do things differently to what you've ever done before. And I think you already know this because you're already doing things different, but keep going. This is, like I said, it's an encouragement reading for you. And keep going with your Ho'oponopono. Keep going with the things that bring you lightness and brightness. Keep going with the education stuff that you've been doing. And you'll be able to, every time you choose what works for you, your courage will build. Every time that you allow yourself to just keep working with your intuition and your inspiration rather than your free don't, then you'll be able to keep moving with a lot more ease and your courage will continue to build. And there is, this is the Lemurian Goddesses card deck that asked to come and be an additional assistance for you. So I'll just leave that there for a moment. So it's 44 minutes in. That symbol there, okay, let's hold it there for just a little bit longer. Cool. Is the goddess of the universe. So it has realized by means of this energized goddess symbol card, with which themes you resonate and which feel unpleasant to you. So have a listen to these things, and the things that feel unpleasant to you, take notice and Ho'oponopono them. Okay, so we've got multidimensionality, commuting between worlds, life plan, ancestral projection, unity, all embracing love, infinity to infinity and beyond, DNA activation, initiation, but also these are sort of the more tougher subjects or aspects. Longing for home, not wanting to be here, escapism, a lack of grounding, being prone to tears, and lone wolf. So this is something specifically from your team. They are asking for you to please have a look at those aspects within you and see which ones you felt like maybe they resonate. And if they resonate, awesome. Ho'oponopono those two. And also the ones that you felt were a bit like cringy or clunky or like, you know, do it on those too. Okay? This is something special for you. Let's have a look at your yummy card. Imagination is the card. So again, that's coming down and linking in with this let your hair down card. So please start using your imagination even more than you already have. Allow yourself to get creative. Okay? I wonder what things you could create in your world if you let your hair down, if you let the reins go a little bit. I wonder what would actually come into your space and bring you so much joy and ease. And I wonder what else is awaiting for you just around the corner with every single cleaning that you do. And that is something that's really, really freaking exciting. Jigsaw puzzles. Told you. Get busy. The universe and your team is looking out for you. All right. Beautiful. I hope that helps, Melinda. I adore you. Thank you. And we've got Taylor. Miss Taylor, could you please pop your question in, please? I love a good jigsaw puzzle. A friend loaned me one, I think it was a 500-piece one, a couple of years ago. She gave it to me like on New Year's Eve or something, and I was out on my own. And she's like, oh, just, whenever, and you can get it back to me. I'd finished it by the time I went to bed that night. Oh, dear. So I love jigsaw puzzles. They're very much one of my ways to just chill my brain, but also activate the opposite. Because when you're doing jigsaw puzzles, you're using both sides of your brain, and because you've got to be having your logic, but you've also got to have your creativity. So it's using both, and so I find it calms everything else out of my world and helps me to really become laser focused. It also means that I become hyper focused and I forget about everything else completely, including food. So yeah. Oh dear. Alrighty, Taylor, let's have a look, see which cards your team would like to play with. Fun. You get to play with the tarot. Okay, Taylor. And let us have a look. How do I listen deeper into my intuition? So for those of you who are new here, I am currently working through the paid donated readings, the extended readings, and the best way to get your questions answered is to pop a wee donation, and the PayPal link is down scrolling across the screen at the moment. If you stick around, I often do a small batch of free intuitive readings from my poetry book, where you get to choose a number, and we go from there. Thank you, Angelita. You're up next, my love. I stopped preparing my cards because so often I'd get out what I thought your teams would like to play with, and quite often it was not. So I stopped. And they just sit in their little crates here in their baskets waiting for me, waiting for you. And then all of a sudden they'll go, I wish to play with that one, thank you. And I'll be okay, thank you. That sounds great. Okay. So, how do I listen deeper into my intuition? The first card that we have here is the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is all about looking at the black and white of things. It's about looking at the balance. It's looking at what is going to create the biggest payoff, what's going to make the greatest things come to fruition. It's about spirituality, physical aspects. It's all about looking at the balance between all of these things. And what I'm seeing with you is that she is saying there was a time in your life when you had that. It may not have been in this lifetime, but you have been this. And you have been incredibly equally balanced in all the areas of your life. You have been balanced in physicality and your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your energetic states. So because you have experienced this before, you have the ability to draw on that knowledge now. The thing that stops you, which we have the Three of Wands here, is that you believe it's outside of yourself. You believe that you have to keep looking for it. But the reality is it's right there beside you. It's right there within you now. Your intuition is already there. It's up to you to be willing to listen to it. Everyone's intuition and how it speaks to you, how it speaks to us, is all different. That's why there's so many clairs, the clairsentience, the clairaudience, the clair, all the other clairs. Because those are just the ones that we've identified. Now, for something like, say, the tool that I use a lot of, say, the light and heavy tool, so the things that make you feel lighter are the things that are true for you. The things that make you feel heavy are the things that are not true for you. They might be a lie. But just because they're not true for you doesn't mean that they're not true for someone else. Okay? So with that particular tool, just about everybody I speak to feels the light and the heavy in different places of their body or even outside of their bodies. There was one gentleman who I knew who would feel it in the air around them. That it would, if it was light, it would be like, and everything would get light and fluffy. But if it was heavy, it felt like dense concrete. So your intuition and how your intuition speaks to you is up to you to discover. Using simple tools like the light and heavy tool, becoming aware of what it is called, will help you greatly on this journey. When I first discovered the light and heavy tool and what it was actually called specifically, and started using it with more intention, my light feeling was a tingle in the tips of my ears, like just up here. And that's all I thought it was. It wasn't until much later when I happened to be asking some questions like, truth, body, do you wish to drink coffee right now? Or truth, it was something that it was a yes for. And my ears moved. I can't do that. I can't make them move like that just by thinking about it. It's like it's only when something is true for me that my ears move. And that was part of the tingle as well. And I was like, and because I was asking these questions while I was getting ready in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, my ears just moved. Some people feel a lightness in their chest. Some people feel a heaviness in their fingers. Some people feel it in their gut. Some people feel it in their legs. There's all sorts of different ways. So I think this is probably a really good moment for all of you. So truth. What is your absolute favorite place to go when you feel the most relaxed, the most calm, the most enlightened, happy? Okay, pop that into your mind. Think about it. And now observe your body. Which parts of your body are feeling light? Which parts of your body are responding to that? If a place doesn't work for you, what is your favorite food? Imagine eating just the tiniest little bit of that, and it's like, how does that make you feel? Okay. And now I'd like you to imagine eating dog and cat poop pies. This will elicit quite a different reaction in your body, and not just the vomity kind. Ignore the vomity part, but pay attention to the rest of your body. Where are you feeling that? So for me, that would be you, but that initial reaction was behind my shoulder, like just under my shoulder blades. It went, all of a sudden went. So be aware of that. Practice. How do you listen deeper to your intuition? Ask questions. Loads and loads and loads of questions. Be aware of your body. Be willing to receive the answers from your body, the intuition, the awareness. It's not even answers, it's the awareness of your body. So one of the things that you can do on an everyday aspect is every time you go to the kitchen to think about, and you're thinking about eating food, stop at the doorway and ask your body truth. Do you actually, body, do you desire food right now? And see, is it light or is it heavy? And if your body goes heavy, you go, okay, so you don't want food. Truth, do you require fluid right now? You might find that's light. Okay, cool. Truth, what kind of, like, if you're still learning how to listen to your intuition, you may not get the clairaudience yet. So you go and you break it down. And yes, it's tedious work. But the more you do it, the faster, quicker, and easier it will become. It's a muscle. You have to work it. You have to use it. And yes, it does get sloppy if you don't use it. Good morning, Anna. So this was how I discovered that I don't like heated up milk. And I don't like coffee with milk in it. My body just goes, no, thank you. But I had to break it down. So I was like, my body had pulled me into the kitchen for coffee. And it was, okay, truth, body, do you actually desire to have coffee? And it went light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, let's break this down. Truth, do you wish to have water? Yes. Truth, do you wish to have hot water? Yes. Truth, do you wish to have the coffee? Yes. Truth, do you wish to have the milk? No. Oh. Okay. So from that point onwards, we started working on black coffee. Body is happy as. Takes practice. So I'm happy to be here because with you guys, I can practice using my intuition every single week. It's a brilliant thing. Temperance, and it's upside down. So temperance is, again, about balance. It's about the balance between you and the elements of you. So it's about the balance between your mind, your emotions, your body, so the physical, and your spiritual. Okay, so because it's upside down, it is showing me that your feet are not grounded also. There's an element there where you're allowing your head to get too bogged down. So for you to turn this one the right way up, you're going to need, you really are going to require to have a sharper focus on what each of those elements are requiring in your body, okay, or in your world. So go back to that tool, go back to that light and heavy tool. If you find it easier to use, I like the light and heavy tool simply because I can do it sitting down, I can do it wherever I am. Whereas other tools like the pendulum or maybe using muscle testing, I find the standing muscle testing, the sway technique, to be really effective. But you can't always stand up with your eyes closed facing north with a drink of water beforehand to be able to use that tool effectively. So it's a wonderful tool, but it's more of use the tool that is the quickest and easiest for you at any one time. And you'll turn that temperance card the correct way around. The next thing is that you might be feeling a little bit battered and bruised by this whole process of spiritual enlightenment and going through the spiritual process and in life in general. And it can make you feel a little bit resentful and like, why do I even bother? The truth is there's a huge amount of growth that you have already done. And it is time for you to have a look at the forest instead of the trees. See the fact that the staff that this young character is holding on to has actually left a big gap here. There's an opening. He's got the back to it. It's very much like this card. It's almost like this is the back, and this is the front of the same character. So I'm wishing for you to see those two in unison so that you can know that the spiritual growth has already been happening. You've been doing really, really well. And it's time for you to start acknowledging just how far you've come already. There's still more to go. There is for everybody. Even those who have been doing this for many, many, many years. There's still more to go. Because we're humans. The last of the tarot cards that I've got for you today is the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is actually, she's one that is talking about emotions. So you're going to have to master your emotions. You're going to have to know intimately, because they are part of your superpower. And you will have to know intimately how to work with your emotions in a really productive, effective kind of a way. In the reading, she's actually facing the past. So it's time for you to spin that round so that you're looking more towards the future. But the past will hold a lot of clues and a lot of gold for how you can best work with your superpower. Does that mean that you have a lot of empathy to others? Absolutely. And that is going to be one of those skills that is so valuable in this world we're all stepping into at the moment. Okay? The next card that we've got for you is the Lady and the Unicorn. And in relation to your question, the phrase under here is absolutely perfect for you. So it says hidden in plain sight. Hi, Julie. Hidden in plain sight for you. Yeah, because it's already there. It's inside of you. It's time to stop looking on the outside for the grand mystical creature that is going to give you all the answers, because the answers are actually all here already. I invite you to go and after this show or tomorrow or whenever, to jump over to the Find You Fridays community and have a look at the meditation that we did last week and have another listen to that. Because that one there, which is about, healing within with the no thing, from the space of the no thing, is about tapping you back in to your inner divinity, your inner knowing, your source. You are source. We are all source. We are all part of the collective. So it's time for you to stop looking outside of yourself and start looking within. Okay? And that's how and this is why the tool of the light and heavy is going to be so valuable for you. Okay? So it's time to use it, and use it every day, multiple times a day. And realize that sometimes your intuition can change, your answers can change, because your body's needs changes, your body's requirements changes as your hormones fluctuate, as your energy levels fluctuate, as what you've been surrounded by fluctuates. It's it all has impacts. And your yummy card is guidance. Seeking inner guidance and then beginning to trust that inner guidance is what will be the big breakthrough for you, and allowing you to see beyond the hard work that you've already done, bring you to temperance, bring you to that place of balance, and allow you to see with even more clarity how your superpower of being so emotionally connected to the energies within and around you be able to be best used for your future and moving forward for the collective too. Thank you, Taylor. I'm so grateful for your donation tonight. Incredibly grateful for you, and I look forward to seeing where you go from here. Oh dear. Melinda, I'm sure there is. And now I encourage you to go and Ho'oponopono that one. Because the crazy in me sees the crazy in you. Alrighty, Angelita. Now I must jump back up to... This is good to ask because later I'm asking why I am feeling sick to my stomach. Interesting. So I'm guessing that's your question, huh? For your beautiful donated reading. Angelita. Ooh-wee. Good work. Melinda, I'm glad you are, because the effect that you'll be having upon those people, but more so with yourself, you'll see it, you'll feel it. I'm feeling it when I was tuning in for you. Oh, dear. Okay, Angelita. Because you're ascending. So if you listen to what I was saying earlier around as the more that we grow, the more we shift and change and expand, the more that we let those interesting points of views go and our belief systems that we've been functioning from go, the other crap will start coming to the surface. And part of that crap, oh, you're doing some deep healing right now. The other crap that will be coming up will be potentially previous lifetime or other lifetime stuff. And that's really singing quite true. Excuse me. Moving lots of energy. That's awesome. And so I say, I commend you. I commend you for having the courage to do the work that you're doing. It takes a lot of bravery to be willing to see and feel all of these different things, to feel and be present with your own crap, and especially from stuff from other lifetimes. It's full on. This whole spiritual awakening game is not easy. It takes tenacity, it takes courage, it takes bravery. And so many of us at some point or another go, oh my God, do I have to do this some more? Oh my God, I'm done. I'm so done. And then you'd have that little glimpse of what your life was like a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and go, oh, actually, no, I don't wish to go back to that. That's not nice. I didn't really enjoy that. And then you sort of go, all right, what's next? So when you start asking what's next, these other awesome things start popping into your world. So when I started asking what's next, I got my QHHT session last year, towards the end of last year, which cracked open so many things in my world. So that is the healing session that is created through Dolores Cannon. Then from there, I learned Reiki. And so now I'm up to Reiki 2. And I'll be working through to doing my master's sometime this year. And now I'm working with Ho'oponopono. All within, I would say, the last 4 months. There is some deep, deep healing happening. There's huge amounts of ascension happening, which also means huge amounts of crap's coming up to be cleared and cleaned. Enjoy. And part of that crap is, thank you, Anna. Part of that is the fears. When that song was rolling around and around and around my head this week, and I said to Alex, God, it's making me feel like blah, 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 blah. And I came out with this whole fucking huge long story. It was fears. It's just memories. It's crap, crap, crap. Agreed, Anna. Crap, crap, crap. The whole fucking lot of it. And I was grateful that it came up because it allowed me to go, oh, hang on a minute. What if I can just send us some love and appreciate and forgive myself for all the times that I've been that or activated that in someone else? Okay, I can do that. I don't know about you all, but there have been times in my life where I have broken up with someone and they've been so heartbroken that they've said that they were suicidal because of our breakup. And at the time I've kind of gone, geez, don't put that on me. But at the end of the day, if we're taking 100% responsibility for everything in our world, that also means the suicidal moments of other people. And forgiveness of self is one of the hardest things to do. It's a bit of I see what you're saying, Anna. And it took me a little bit to wrap my head around it's actually okay to take responsibility for my part. So when you're working with Ho'oponopono, there's a few different ways that you can say the phrase that goes before it. But it's like everything that is in me that has activated that in you. And everything, and that's the simplest one, but it's also everything in me and my family, my ancestors, that has activated that in you or in your ancestors. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So sometimes you have to repeat that, like that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Sometimes you have to repeat it many, many times over. And we can do that same 4 phrases to all of the fears. We can do it to anything that comes up in our world. The other day, a friend of my soul sister mentioned about how she has realized she's got some points of views around being a woman and that she has no value because she is, in her mind, a valuable woman is one that can create babies and is willing to cook and clean and keep house. And she's not willing to do any of that. So in her mind, she was not valuable. And I was like, thank you so much for bringing that into my world because now I can clean on that. Irony. You know? So I ho'oponopono that in me. And every time you do that, you're freeing everybody else throughout all the lifetimes, dimensions, realities, or non-realities who have also been influenced by that same point of view, because these point of views, these belief systems are like little viruses, and they pass from person to person to person to person to person. How cool is it that we can reverse that process? We can erase it. That's just fucking cool. Anyway, back to Angelita's actual reading. Yeah, those Hawaiians, they know something special, I know. I'm sure of it. Because the funny thing is that I have shifted a lot with my body, of my image of my body, my thoughts around my body over the last 7 years. I have this process that I do every single morning, just about without fail. There might be occasional morning here and there that I haven't done it. But it is about saying to my body, I love you. So I send my body love every single morning throughout every single part of my body. And it takes time. I set my alarm at 5 o'clock so I can actually get through the process and, you know, fall asleep and then wake up and then fall asleep with the snoozing. Oh dear. But that helped hugely with shifting that negative self-talk around my body. Nope, there's no more in that one. Okay. Cool. Gosh, we're getting, there's going to be no cards left in the little boxes today. That I do not mind. So it has come to your attention that fears has come to focus. Why have these fears come to your attention? All the things I said before. Cool. Moving along. So to have a look at this and in relation to your fears. So we've got Ruby. Interesting. Sorry. Just looking at the color theme of your cards, and it's all in that first 3 chakra. Okay. So I would highly recommend, besides doing Ho'oponopono, have a look at doing some really specific stuff around those first 3 chakra and sending loads of love and clearing and, you know, doing the really specific stuff around those 3 especially. So we've got rejuvenate your body as the Ruby card. And in rejuvenating your body, it's about these fears are coming up to rejuvenate your body. It's about tapping you in at an even deeper level, right? And yes, root chakra is about grounding. It's also about reawakening, because the root chakra or the base chakra and the sacral chakra both are surrounding, you know, your deep feminine energies. And for those of you who have known me for a long time, you know that there was some very deep work I did with rebalancing my feminine side, and that became, you know, talking about the pussy energies and goddess energies and things like that, and reclaiming that aspect. And Angelita, I know that you're aware of that journey. So this is another moment for having a look at where are you sitting at? Where is your balance at between your masculine and your feminine energies, your sensual energies, your goddess, your pussy energies, all of that sort of stuff. Okay. So the next card that we've got is orange, which is about nurturing yourself. Okay, so these fears are coming up to show you those aspects where you are not nurturing yourself and how you can nurture yourself even better than what you already have been. And you've been doing a fabulous job. You have. And it's time to take it to the next level. We are all leveling up at the moment, and sometimes it shows up as mess. It's kind of like when you go through a renovation process of a house or a room or something like that. There's always that moment where there's the deconstruction, where everything just looks absolutely terrible. You've got debris sitting everywhere. You've got, bare bones of your house sitting there, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell have I done? And then as the stuff clears away and it gets cleaned away, you start to feel a little bit more like, oh, here we go. All right. I can see the possibilities in here now. But there's still, for many of us, we're still in the rubble stage, or we're revisiting, I should say, the rubble stage. So keep going, keep going, keep clearing, keep cleaning, keep doing that work. You've got lemon is the next. This is why I'm saying you've got the first three chakra right there. Access innovative thinking is the lemon. So this is perhaps for you to rediscover some modalities or things, some aspects of healing that are helping you to remove this rubble. So instead of having a little toothbrush to remove the rubble and the debris, maybe you're going to take it through to an industrial vacuum cleaner. So have a look and see, what is your upgrade? What is awaiting for you? What tools can you now bring in that you haven't used before? Maybe you heard about them many years ago, like the Ho'oponopono. I remember a lady I was working with did a video about it like 3 years ago when I was working with her. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's a funny Hawaiian thing. Didn't even look at it as a possibility. I had no interest in it whatsoever. Now, 3 years down the track, it's come into my world again, and I'm going, hey, hi, yeah, I like you. Huh, what do you know? This actually freaking works. So self-worth, interesting. I wonder what tools are your next upgrade. We've got amber, so you can see why I said it's all the first three chakras, right? We've got, this is all of the cards, okay? The amber is about awaken your creativity, so you're going to have to look at clearing these particular fears from a slightly different perspective, using slightly different tools, and looking at things from maybe the opposite way of what you think you should be looking at things maybe with that aspect of love, because one of the things Dr. Helio I think I got that around the right way, says is that the majority of the reasons why we have problems in this world is for a lack of love. Everybody, everything desires to be loved. And the reason why we have the issues is because there's a lack of love. And a lack, I will put into my own words, of unconditional love. And that's why Theta Healing really resonated for me, because it was like I was suddenly surrounded by unconditional love. And I didn't have to be anything. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to be the good girl or pretend like my bad sides didn't exist, or, I wasn't obligated or anything to receive all of this unconditional love through every cell and molecule of my body. And it was such a relief, absolute relief. Because when you're a people pleaser, recovering, to know that there was nothing I had to do other than just be present in the moment. Gosh, the tears, I tell you, the tears. There's a goddess that would like to come and assist you with this, and it is Thecla, the prophetess of true power. And she says, I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. So I'll hold her up a little bit closer so you can see her. She's pretty amazing. She's got beautiful potency. Thecla. And let me see if I can get a quick little, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I agree. Oh, that's right. These ones aren't in order. I know there is an order to them, but they're just not by alphabetical. Okay, so Thecla's story echoes from the ancient world to the modern world. Your life is up to you. Yes, there is the power of prayer, of faith, of asking for all possible spiritual support. But there is also divine will within each of us. It's will that is aligned with the soul's purpose. We remember what true power is when we divest all outside authority of the power we had been giving them. Power is calling back all the control we give to others to dictate our lives. Our potential life partners, our family members, our culture, even our ego's idea of who we should be. So there we go. There's part of your answer there is, how much power are you giving your fears? Time to call it back. Thecla reminds us that we do not need permission to be who we are. We can cut our hair short and baptize ourselves. We are not bound by anything except the dictates of our own soul. Her mudra is one of awe and wonder. We all have power right now within us to take our life into our own hands. That's the source of fire itself, the divine will to call back our spiritual authority and claim this life as our soul's own. So again, where have I given my power away? I call back my power from all times and all places. I am my own. Yes, exactly. Am I giving my power away? I think Thecla is saying, yes, you are. And it's time to call it back. All right. So now your yummy card. Oh, thanks, Anna. Thank you for coming to join us. It's so fun. I love doing this show. Just sharing the shit that comes out my head. Thanks to your guys' teams. And for you, my dear, we also got guidance. So I would be teaming up, if I was you, I'd be teaming up with Thecla and asking for her to help you through this space and how to bring your power back to you, and to, it's you see it in so many movies. I've got, good old Harry Potter sitting in my head now. When they go, oh, the one that cannot be named, and that they had their fear, right? Their fear of what Voldemort could do. But once they actually started using his name and gave him back his name, it eliminated the fear. And so he had less and less power. Beautiful. So that is what I would say is going on here. You're giving away your power according to your team. Not what I would say, it's what your team is saying. And it's time to take it back. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you for watching all the way from America. I'm an international superstar. Oh dear. Anna, yes, exactly. He can only do things if others allow it. I absolutely agree. Hi, Gemma. Miss Gemma. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Thank you for your donation. Can you please pop your question in the chat below, and then I can do your reading. Yes, it's amazing how many aspects within us so that train of thought just kind of led into another one without finishing the first one, so that's fine. It's up to you, Gemma. It's up to you. If you have a specific thing, I hate always just saying love, haha. Can you clarify that sentence, please, Gemma? I'm not sure. And thank you, Catherine. Oh, dear. So I feel like a little bit of a psychology lesson is coming in. That's awesome, Angelita. So back when I was doing my diploma of holistic counseling, I learned about this lovely thing from Freud. Freud was a pretty smart dude, and he realized there's aspects of us that is called the id, the ego, and the superego. And the id is like our survival state. It's the parts of us that we are naturally born into this world with that keeps us, fed and dry and making sure that we are nourished enough to survive. That's our id. And so it's the id is the part of us that makes us cry when we're hungry, when we're babies, or when we've got a dirty nappy, or whatever it is that is upsetting us. If we've got pain, if we've got anything like that. Our super ego, on the other hand, is all sort of like the more airy-fairy parts of us, the things that wishes to commune with one and the nature and be part of the collective and never have to think about eating again, and everything is bright, wonderful, and fluffy. And the ego is the balance point between the id and the superego. So the ego in and of itself is not a bad thing. What the issue with the ego is that if the id has received a lot of trauma and a lot of abuse and, say, narcissism and gaslighting and heartaches and heart hurts and all of that sort of stuff, and the id is really loud and it is really in its like survival brain state, and it's working from all of that memories, that's the parameters that the ego also has to work with. And this is the point where we say our egos gets out of control. And that's how the ego has gotten such a bad rep, but it's not. It's just that the ingredients that it's been working with, because there hasn't been a lot of this fun, light, airy-fairy, dreamy, connected to our higher selves, all of that sort of stuff of the super ego, it hasn't had very much of that, if any, because everything has been down in the id space. So when we're making those transitions and we're starting to reduce the load of the id, the ego sometimes has a bit of a hard time catching up. And that's when our fears come up. That's when we get those moments of like, before the night before I went and did my level 2s, I was having all of these dreams about the world with all the structures around me, the walls were falling in and down. And if I hadn't done the work that I've done, both spiritually and with the learnings that I've done and all that sort of stuff, I would have probably freaked out, gone, oh my God, I'm only working on a couple of hours sleep. I can't possibly drive that hour and whatever it was, hour and 10 minutes to my class. I can't do it safely, because at that point, when I'm in my I can'ts, that's the resistance. That's the ego going, oh my God, shit's changing. How the hell do I cope with this? I don't have the program to run with this one. I have this old program, which has kept me really, really safe. It's kept you safe. And now you're going to bloody change it? How can I work with that? So you have these resistance moments that pops up, and they can come through in physical ailments. They can come through as, like I said, in dream state and just the lack of sleep, disturbed sleep. There's a lot of that going on. And it can also come through as like a short-temperedness. And just be aware that these things are all normal. It's your ego having to readjust. So that's where inner child work comes in really, really useful. And going, okay, well, I'm feeling this emotion. I'm feeling this worry or this fear. When was the first time I ever felt that? Think back and go, oh, Now, this is the point where if you've done a lot of work, you can probably take yourself through this process, and I have done it many times. But sometimes when we become aware of these elements and these aspects, we require a little bit of help to guide us through the process, because it can bring up a lot of old stuff, and it can be kind of a bit daunting to deal with it on our own. So that's when reaching out to, your favorite therapist, whether that be, someone like me or a counselor or a psychologist or whoever works for you, whatever practitioner works for you. You can also receive in those moments awarenesses about who will work best for you and your higher self. You can ask those questions. And then you can receive some guided help to move through those moments. Okay, just catching up with the chat. Anna, amazing how often we know what we need to do for our own good, but until somebody reminds us or clarifies what we should do and how and why we don't, we just carry on hindering our development. Yes, so true, so true. All right. I love readings. Okay. All right. Thank you, Gemma. Good to know you love readings. Okay. I did wonder what that YouTube link was for, Melinda. Thank you for popping that in there for us. One day you'll become my PA, I reckon. But first I'll have to clean on that one. Oh, funny. All right. And you'll get why that's funny. Jammer, jammer, jammer. Do love it. Love it, love it, love it. I swear to goodness, everybody. So many different cards coming out today. Love it. Okay. Okay. Gemma, my hands are going very, very tingly. And it's like there's a couple of things going on there. It's one of them is like your team is saying she requires body work to be done. The other one is that there's stuff going on with your hands, as in spiritual energetic stuff. So take your pick on that one. Are you familiar with Ina Segal? The Secret Language of Your Body. Brilliant book. See, last week I had the book out ready for you all. This week I did not, and this week we need it. So hang on a second. Right here. This is the beautiful book. Ina Segal, she's an Australian. And so she lives in Australia. I don't know if she's actually Australian. I think she is Australian. Anywho, doesn't matter. She lives in Australia. I know that. She lives up in Queensland. This book here, the previous version of this book, because this is the second edition, actually helped me heal precancerous cells in my body before I even knew anything about being a healer. So it's potent, it's powerful, it's amazing. For Taylor also, if you've got stuff going on in your body, get this book. It'll help you tune in on that too. And how you use it is there's a big section at the front, but if you're like me, you just go, no, I want to know like that bit. And so when you're reading the parts of it, pay attention to which things resonate the most with you, whether they be a positive thing or a negative thing. Okay. And those are the things that you have to do the work with and have that focus on. And she works with the divine healing intelligence. And I'll give you a little spoiler. Divine healing intelligence is you. It's not a thing outside of yourself. It is your ability to be a part of the collective. It is the acknowledgement that you are no thing. You are the nothing. And with that comes absolute possibilities. So, hands. The next thing that's coming through is peace. So, hang on. Yeah, cool. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I feel like that should be reversed. So, yes, in the past, you have felt very unpeaceful, that things have been a bit topsy-turvy, that things are like, lots of strain, lots of struggle, and things are starting to turn around. And the reason why I can see that is because the very next card is victory. So that's an acknowledgement of all the work that you have done that is now in the past. What I'm hearing and perceiving is acknowledge it, don't live in it. Your past does not define you. It is a part of you. It is not a part of you. And that's all very cryptic. Watch my meditation from last week. And with that, it has helped you to grow. All those hard, troublesome moments that have made you feel so unpeaceful has helped you to grow. It's helped your heart to grow. And so it's now time to take a moment to go, I'm so grateful for all of those moments, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for being present, because with you, I am where I am now. Thank you. And then you can see that some Ho'oponopono too, saying to everything in my life in the past. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I like to do another I love you at the end. I love you. I can feel my Reiki hands are very, very hot right now. So that's a bit fun. Perhaps you're receiving a little bit of Reiki. The next card that we have up, which is funny because I was just talking about Reiki hands, is angel therapy. So give your cares and your worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. So along with that, they're saying to me, yes, there are other practitioners out there that you've been reaching out to and considering, and it is time. We all require mentors. We all require other people to assist us through our lumps and bumps in life. We can't do it all on our own. And if we could, it would be bloody amazing. But we didn't get into this situation all on our own. We had many other influences not influencers. I'm not talking about the old TikTok influencer here. I'm talking about your past, your family, your friends, your exes, your enemies, your everything. They all had an impact on you. And in your energetic fields, in your thought processes, and in the neural pathways of your brain, everything that we have ever been exposed to has had an impact in some way, shape, or form. Hence the reason why Ho'oponopono is so valuable, because it's undoing a lot of those things. And our body still requires a little bit of nurturing and a little bit of nourishment, because that's the next card that's come up for you, is about nurturing. And it's about nurturing perhaps your own inner child, which I suspect this is very much where you are at right now. There's a lot of inner child stuff that is bubbling to the surface that is requiring a little bit of extra help to help process it through. And through therapy, through healing work and all that sort of stuff, it is most effective. I remember when I was first starting to get my Access bars run, and for the first year, every time I got my bars run, I cried. And I was not a crier. I didn't like crying. The only time that it was acceptable for me to cry was in a movie, if I was watching one that was particularly sad. Or the other ones were like family reunion type things. where, you know, the soldier comes back from war or whatever like that, like when people are being reunited, that was okay to cry at. Funerals were okay to cry at, but only a little bit. So to then be in a position where every time I was having this process done, which is like the 32 points on the head, and it's just a really light touch, and it was accessing all these parts of me which I had no cognitive recognition of, and suddenly I was just crying. My eyes were just leaking all the time, every time. By the time a year was up, I was like, am I ever going to stop crying with this stuff? I still went back for more because it always made me feel good. But, you know, now I run bars and have my bars run and there's no issues. Like, but even if I did cry, it wouldn't matter to me now anyway. It's about rebalancing and letting go. Letting go. Your team would like to remind you that everything is in divine order, that everything is as it needs to be right now, and to look past the illusion and see the underlying order. So again, we are looking at this card being upside down. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in your story. It's okay to let things go with love. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to be on your path in the way that is the best for your highest good, however that looks for you. And there'll be a lot of people who won't get it. And if you've come from a traumatic background, which I suspect there is some of that sitting there, those, if you're still linked with some of those people, particularly if they're narcissistic, abusive type people, maybe a bit gaslighty, maybe they like to use a little bit of, you know, subtle guilt tripping, sometimes not so subtle, they will not comprehend these changes that you are making. And they might ramp up a little bit more. And that's okay, because that's their journey. It's not your journey. So keep strong. Keep the courage. Keep having courage. Keep that softness. Keep bringing that love to you, in through you and out from inside of you. Keep flowing it out. Stay tuned for our meditation. The second to last card that I've got for you, my dear, is a Celtic card. It's surrender. Let it go. Freedom and flow. She's pretty amazing. Okay. So that really rounds up this whole reading. It's time to let go. It's letting go of the past to gain yourself the freedom so that you can go with the flow with a lot more ease. Okay. Let's have a look at your yummy card. I love my yummy cards. Respect. Oh, excuse me. Respect. Okay. It's time for you to respect your journey. It's time for you to remember to respect the sacred vessel that is you. It's time for you to respect your your innate wisdom, is what I'm being told. Respect who you be, because you're incredible. You're so strong. And now it's time to remember your softness and to rebalance. Okay? The drive up here is really lovely. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you for coming to play. I'm very grateful for you. I appreciate the donation. It is such a gift for us all. And thank you for the acknowledgement of me and the honouring of my time. I appreciate it. And thank you for honouring your team's time to come and play with me. Okay, dokie. For those of you who are still watching right now, because you have been here for so long, I am so grateful for you. Let me please invite you to pop the first number between and including 1 and 88. Pop it in the chat right now. All right, and this is why. For those of you who are new, there's Catherine. She's onto it. I love it. This little book here was never meant to be an intuitive poetry book. It created itself. It is my book, but it was co-created with my team. And this beautiful book, this beautiful cover, I designed it. All the words in here are mine. And with it, I am able to tap into your beautiful numbers that you have chosen, not me. It's not me shuffling the cards and laying it out. It is your numbers, okay? And so often what happens with these poems is that there'll be certain words that'll stick out that will make it your reading. That's what your team is tuning in on. That's what the number is that you've got in your head. And as long as you didn't just pick your favorite number because that was the number that you always pick, you pick the first number that pops into your head, you'll get an accurate poem. Okay? Alrighty, Catherine. And there's always a little bit of a pause because I'm asking the previous team to disappear and bringing in the new team. Okay. Catherine, why do we fall? We fall for the wrong guy, wrong job, wrong food, wrong drink, wrong clothes. We are looking for love, admiration, acceptance. We fill the loneliness with distractions, people, lust, purchases, substances, when all we really want is uncompromised love. Catherine, stop judging other people, please, and stop judging yourself. Stop judging the things. It's time to stop all of that. Refined judgment is a bit of a nasty, sneaky little one. You don't think that you're judging things, but when you actually really look at the energy of it, it's heavy, and therefore it's a refined judgment. Gross judgments are things like, let me see if I can find one that's really gross. So like all black people are criminals. That's a gross judgment. It's not true. It makes me feel really yuck. And, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So refined judgments are really way more subtle than that. Okay. And a lot of people I know have made that transition, and they're going, oh, but I don't judge people. I don't judge things these days. You'll see that they have little wee bits of refined judgments, and it's often a very fine point of view or a belief system that is keeping them stuck. Okay. So wherever these little bits are popping up in your world, please have a look at them. Have a look. Oh, is that actually true for me? And if it's true, it'll be light. And if it's not true, it'll be heavy. Okay. So then you can send it some love. This is what this poem's asking for. It's for uncompromised. What I said was uncompromised. It's unconditional love. Send it some unconditional love. Have a look at where that sits in your body. Send that unconditional love through. Okay? Your team's asking you to up your game big time. That's why you're asking lots of questions around this sort of stuff at the moment. Thank you, Catherine. I'm grateful for you. Thank you to your team. A pizza. Thank you for coming to join us. Lovely to have you over from YouTube land. Okay. Immaturity. Immaturity is what makes the rest of the human race grow up or be sick. The world is full of immature people. They are that way to get back at other people because they can't grow up or just because their minds and brains are not advanced enough to know better. Unfortunately, most of us don't realize that the other person is immature until something happens to put these two people at odds with each other. Then they end up hating each other and making one another's lives very uncomfortable. If we realized that the people were immature, then life would be so much simpler. But life is not that simple. So all we have to do is to not let the immature people of this world get the better of us. This was written a very, very long time ago. Let's see. This year, it would be 30 years ago. So the wording is slightly different to what I would use now, but the meaning is still the same. And what I'm sensing with you, Archer, is you have a lot of sadness going on and you're listening too carefully and too closely to people who are not nearly as far along on their journey as you are. There's still a lot of growth for you to do, and that is part of why you're listening too much to these people who are in your ear hole. Like my ear in here is really, really achy as I'm talking with you right now. And there's an element there of trying to have these connection points with these people that you're listening to that are creating a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of suffering. And sometimes it's very subtle. It actually feels like it's more of an emotional manipulation stuff. And at this point, I get the feeling that you're perhaps trying to keep the peace. The problem with that is that it's activating your people-pleasing skills. So what I highly recommend for you is to see if you can get a book called Attached. Okay, so this book here, Attached, will teach you about attachment styles. And you will learn what your attachment style is. And here it has a, a test, to find out what your attachment style is, what your partner's attachment style is. Now, for partner, you can also use that for family. You can, which I'm getting that this is part of where it's sitting for you at the moment, is more to do with family. And our families are here to help us grow. Our families are here for good, bad, better or worse, They are here to encourage us in ways that we wouldn't do for ourselves. And this is a part of your learning and your growth. So it's time to come back to the space of love for you and gratitude for the journey, and also just to realize some boundaries. You require some boundaries, some energetic boundaries, some spiritual boundaries, so that you can not be listening quite so closely, because it's affecting in your brain. It's affecting your neural pathways. And this moving forward is going to shape a lot of your relationships and how you interact with other people moving forward. And it's not even necessarily a direct correlation between, well, this is how my mother spoke to me, so that's how I'm going to interact with other women. Sometimes it's not even that clear. Sometimes it's like, well, this is how my mother spoke to me, so this is how I'm going to be with people in authority, male or female, it doesn't matter. So there's a lot of growth happening for you, and you're in a bit of the firestorm at the moment. It's okay. You've got this. Be strong. Connect in with Mother Earth. Learn how to create those boundaries, especially with your heart. And it's not about barriers. There's a real big difference between barriers and boundaries. Barriers stop everything, the good and the bad, the ugly and the awesome. It stops everything. It stops you from being able to receive the unconditional love from those who truly have your back, but it also stops you from being able to receive the unconditional love from Source. That's what a barrier does. A boundary, however, is it's a filter, if you like, whereby you go, I will not accept this behavior. However, if you're going to love me and enjoy me and have my back and, enjoy life with me, for sure, that can come through. But if you're going to talk to me like I'm a piece of shite, no, that I will not stand for. I'm worth more than that. If you're going to continuously give me the cold shoulder because I've spoken up and I've allowed my voice to be heard, that's not okay. Hope that helps. You just never know where these are going to go. Julie, Julie, Julie. Oh, 77. Oh, dear. Patience, my girl. If he is supposed to be yours, then he will be. You have made the connection over distance already. He loves you with all his heart, soul, and body. He will do almost anything to talk and be with you. So he has some things he needs to sort. You know this year is about patience. This is another instance, another lesson. Breathe. Feel the love and the warmth because it is true. Trust it. Trust in yourself. Trust what has been said before is true. The most relevant part for you is that last stanza from the word breathe. There is, and also the title, patience. So it's patience, breathe, trust. Oof. That's just like my whole heart space just went gadoof. Feel the love and warmth because it is true. It is time to trust love and warmth. It's time to trust your love and your warmth for you. You're so good at being able to give it to those around you unquestioningly. You're like an open fountain of love and warmth. But your fountain's running a little dry for you. Time to bring that back. Flow it around to you. Allow yourself to feel you first so you can give even more. Breathe. You can sense your blood pressure's a bit high. You know, there's moments there where you're slipping out of your smart brain. And when you're doing that and going from, your emotional brain and then sort of tipping slightly into your survival brain, there's those moments there where it's all old memory stuff. You're in fight, flight, and freeze, or fawn. Step forward, please. Breathe. Bring that unconditional love up from Mother Earth. Come through your heart. Breathe. You got this. I'm also getting a sense that there's some music that would be really handy for you to listen to from time to time. It's like got the heartbeat on a drum. So it'll be like the say the Indian drum, the American Indian drum with a heartbeat sound to it, which I think is like da-dum, 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 da-dum. You can even just do it on yourself. Da-dum, da-dum. And it's really powerful for you, for your heart space. Start loosening up some of that stuff. Don't be surprised if you start crying, because you're transitioning out of that emotional state back up into your smart brain state. Okay. Thank you, Julie. Anna. Page 18, rather, poem 18. Reaching out. Help me in this time in my life. Help me to get through these days smoothly. Help me to see the bright side. Help me to achieve what I want in life. Help me to move into the next stage, to make the most of the only life that I have got. Help me to be happy, but most of all, help me by being there in thought, feeling, or just as a presence. So please help me. Anna, this is a deep, deep call. This is a deep call from your inner depths of your hurt spaces, your heart, your body, your everything, to your team, to your spirit team. And your team is there. They are ready for you. They have always been ready for you. And that deep, deep call is a demand from you. And when we make those deep demand calls, shit changes. And sometimes it changes very, very fast. Other times it takes, the initial burst will take will happen really quickly, and then it'll be just like a very steady progression upwards. And sometimes that progression is a bit sticky and a bit hard. But I'm getting like bottom of the gut, like fire. Keep going. You've got this. There'll be times where you'll feel like tearful, because that was something that was coming through that one. There was like a prickling behind the eyes. Allow the tears to come. Don't try to smother them. Allow them to be seen and felt. One of the things that I picked up from, gosh, I can't remember who, was when the tears come, allow them to run down your cheek. You can dab them, but then place them on your third eye and place them on your heart. So you're contributing and acknowledging to your foresight and your heart, and acknowledging this beautiful, beautiful growth that you're going through right now. Keep going. You've got this. So I'm going to read the little bit at the bottom, because each of my poems, for those of you who don't know, when I was writing them out, typing them out eventually, I had to be nudged a lot by my team to do it. It wasn't like I just went, oh, yes, I'll just start writing my poetry down for publishing. It came to me that, because I was raised in the, the 80s and the 90s, where we had cassette tapes or CDs, and you'd have the little inserts with all the lyrics. And I always used to wonder, what was the author thinking or going through at that time? And so these little blurbs happen at the end of the poems. So this one, I think I'm getting a nudge to read it to you. At last I chose to ask for contribution, calling out to the world of the spirit, the world of the earth and nature, to lay my swords down, to become vulnerable to the entities who didn't nudge or hurt, who didn't judge or hurt. I called to the energies of the earth, although it wouldn't be until about 20 years later that I would comprehend that's actually who I was asking for. And blessed be, that's who answered, in the forms of magical rainbows where there should be none, of twittering birds flying close by to grab my attention, of windy days to make me laugh at umbrellas being blown inside out. So often in our journey, and when we make these really big demands, it's when we feel at the bottom of our tunnel. And it's like, sometimes it can feel like we're super numb. It might feel like there's no way out. It might feel like we can't see the light. These deep calls are the most transformational that you can have. And the fact that you're already very emotional, that's brilliant. That's excellent, because it means that you've moved out of survival. You're in emotional. You're so much closer to being in your smart brain space, where you can think cognitively. You can be really in that problem solving space. You can look at all the options and be in the space of possibilities and all of that sort of stuff. So you are definitely on your way forward. Keep going. You are doing an incredible job. Well done. The numbness will ease, And the one thing that I'll say in this space is get out in nature. People are all well and good, but every single person has their own little funny agendas, their own little refined judgments floating around. And when we are really super numb, it can be hard to identify that. And so we get sucked into people's worlds really easy, or we just become hermits and stay away from everybody, which is not necessarily helpful either. So get out in nature, start making contact with trees. Look up, don't look down all the time. I was raised on a farm, so I actually do look down a lot, but that's because I don't want to step in cow shit. But yes, you will, the more you get outside, the more you play with the spaces of nature and start taking notice of the things that are around you as far as nature goes, because nature is safe in a lot of ways. And it will start to melt. It will melt that numb bubble around you. It'll take some time, but it will happen. Okay? And also, if you can, seek therapy, seek a practitioner who speaks to your heart. Somebody who knows about what it takes to help you through your traumas, through the things that have led you to the space that you are now. And you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at how quickly things can change these days. I mean, that was written 25-ish years ago, when there just wasn't the resources back then. You are so lucky to have so many people and so many different resources that you can access these days. You know, it's a shameless self-plug right now. Like, I even have online sessions. Like, that to me is totally bonkers. And yet they work because the people who choose them are brave. They're here to be the brave choosers of their own journeys. That's why I love working with my clients, whether they be online or in person. And you are brave. You are resilient. You're magical and sparkling. And I'm so, so excited that you came to join us today. Thank you for being here. The looking back is, reflection is an important part of the healing process. And I never used to, I remember being in that space of going, but the more that we do this, it creates a, say it with me, people, it creates a barrier. And every time we do that, what happens is all that stuff piles up, and eventually it just goes, smacks us over the head at some point and completely throws us for a sixer. And that's when we get things like burnout, we get fatigue, chronic fatigue, we get various body ailments, we get all this stuff that all of a sudden just seems to come out of nowhere. But it's like, it's just got to be back to here. It's all of these little niggly things that have all piled up. I come from a family where they don't talk about their feelings. Nuh-uh. They shove it in the cupboard. They plaster over the cupboard. They throw away the key. Don't ever talk about your feelings. If there's stuff that comes up, don't ever talk about it. It might be uncomfortable. Funny that. And then along comes me, who wants to talk about everything. I desire to know everything. I wish to know how something works, why somebody said that, why did you lie? because I was such an aware little bunny. So therefore, my family had no idea how to cope with me. So they would try to put me in a box and say, you care too much. Nobody thinks about you. Don't be so sensitive. What they're really saying is, you're poking me in the eye in a way I don't like. So I'm going to try and push you away so you stop niggling at all these things I don't want to look at. And that was part of my journey into healing, because I had to heal from all of that stuff and a lot of other stuff that I haven't even spoken about. It's okay. It's led me to the point where I'm here with you. And now I'm in a space where I'm grateful for all of that stuff, because it shaped me. It allowed me to be really super resilient. It allowed me to become, intuitive, and it allowed me to become inventive and creative, and there's so many things that having that societal mistreatment from my family. And the reason why I do that is because it's a story. At the end of the day, it's a story. It's part of my story, sure. But it's just a story. And it was my choice as to what to do with that. At the point where I was, one of the points where I was at my lowest, after the end of my first marriage. And my first marriage was to a person who had ended up being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, had hardcore narcissism and gaslighting tendencies. So if you know about that, you know what a pearler of a relationship that will have been for me. And when it ended very suddenly, my whole world was ripped apart. I had no job. I had no house. I had no money because he'd gone and ripped all the money out of the joint bank account and some. I had a whole bunch of debt, no cat, no place to live. So I was couch surfing and sleeping in my car. And at that point in my life, I made a very conscious choice and demand. I was never going to become a bitter, spiteful old lady. I'm choosing happiness. I choose to be happy. And I did this with tears rolling down my face, feeling like I didn't know how I was going to carry on. But I chose to be happy. It's taken a long time and a lot of healing and a lot of work by some incredible facilitators over the years to get me to a point where I'm now in a relationship where I feel I'm with my most aligned partner, who does nurture and nourish me, who cares for me, who's not a fucking narcissist, who doesn't gaslight me. He cares. He wants to know if I make it to work at home, work on and safely, and he wants to know when I leave work and if I make it home okay. It's the little things that add up to be the big thing. And yes, I agree. It does take time. and the right support. So everything that is, thank you, Julie. Everything that is, and everything that's brought up for all of us here tonight. And everywhere and anything that's in me that has activated that in you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Thank you, Melinda. How long did you have that one sitting there for? Thank you, Anna. Thank you for allowing your story to come through and our story to be seen and heard. You're not the only one, unfortunately. Good morning, Tina. Yeah. We have a lot to learn, a lot to grow, a lot to release, a lot to clean, a lot to clear. And that's what this time is all about. We're getting rid of all the clutter so that we can, as a collective, step forward into the 5D, which is just such a mind-blowing place to be. So beautiful, so peaceful, so calm. If you find it difficult to read a book, as in the text, I highly recommend getting into Audible. If you're not into Audible already, sometimes when we're in those spaces where we can't cognitize written word, listening is easier. And there are so many books that I listened to over the years, but particularly from 2 years ago, that really helped propel my knowledge and my healing forward. And there is just a wealth of information out there that we can access now so easily. And we're so very, very lucky. So lucky. Thank you, Melinda. Online sessions are awesome. They're just as powerful as in-person ones. And yes, Anna, you will start to realize where your thought processes are keeping you stuck as well. So I'm seeing one of your comments here of where it says it'll knock you back down again. What if it doesn't have to? That's one of those nice little belief systems, points of view that are keeping you trapped. And I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. And as you probably gathered, you can take those phrases and put them in whatever order is relevant to you. I prefer to use all 4 phrases, and some people, like in some situations, only 3 might seem relevant, or, you know, they might only ping for 3 of them. Sometimes the thank you doesn't come out. Sometimes I think the I love you always comes out. That's like the keystone. Some people struggle with the I'm sorry or the please forgive me. I would recommend, even if you don't necessarily believe it, keep going. Say all 4 verses, say all 4 lines every single time. And sometimes you might require to repeat it over and over and over and over again for a period of time. Alrighty, beautiful ones. It's time to do our meditation. So, we've been through a lot of big energies tonight. I highly recommend that you have a little drink of water if you can, please, before our meditation. Just get the body nice and hydrated. Just wiggling some of those energies out. Beautiful. Allowing my tea to step back in. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, everybody. Take a big deep breath in and close your eyes. And breathing out. Breathing in all the way down through your belly, through your hips to your toes. And breathing out all the way out. This time as you breathe in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up your body, from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head and out to your fingertips. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down from your head, down through to your arms and your fingertips, down through your body, through to your feet, and touching and intermingling with Mother Earth. Bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Mingling with Father Sky. And as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Keep breathing deeply as we move into the expanding out exercise. Right now, become aware of your body. Become aware of the cells and molecules within your body. Become aware all the way down to the molecular structure of your body, down to the protons and the neutrons. And perceive the space between all of those elements, the protons, the neutrons, the nuclei. And acknowledging the fact that you are 99.99999% space. And that nothing, absolutely nothing, no part of you is stuck or stagnant. Everything is shifting and changing and vibrating with every single moment, every inch of a moment. You in this moment can change anything within your body should you desire it. It's only your points of views, your belief systems that is preventing you. And that is where the love comes in. And now expanding out your awareness out beyond your body in a lovely big bubble, out to the size of the room that we're in, to the size of the building, up into the sky and down into the earth. expanding out your awareness to the size of the country that you're in, and now to the size of the planet. Take a big deep breath. For some of you, this will seem like a bit of a stretch, and that's okay. Just trust in the process. We've done this many, many times before. Expanding out your awareness, out beyond the size of the solar system. Remembering that you're in a nice big bubble. Expanding out your awareness out beyond the galaxies and now beyond the universes. And for those of you who have worked with me before in private sessions, you're more than welcome to go out further should you desire. And now as you leave your awareness nice and expanded out, you might be feeling a little bit of tightness in your head as your ego brain is going, oh my God. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You are safe. You are surrounded by Mother Earth and Father Sky. You are safe. Focus on your body and grab your sense of allowance. Expanding out your sense of allowance out to the size of the room that you're in a nice big bubble. Remembering that our sense of allowance and expanding out our sense of allowance takes us from being that tight little contracted pebble at the bottom of the raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, being battered about on the bottom of that river, bashed and trashed as we try to put our barriers up. And it takes us to being like the big fluffy cloud floating above the raging river, away from being that tight little pebble where you can see the truth of that raging river. It's just energy. You are no longer at the effect of the raging river. You are in allowance of it. Expanding out your allowance beyond the room that you're in, beyond the building that you're in. Expanding up into the sky and down into Mother Earth. In that lovely big bubble of yours, expanding out beyond the country that you're in, beyond the planet, and beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxies, beyond the universes, and now beyond your awareness. Take a big deep breath in and allow your body to relax. Feel the tension leaving your muscles. Feel it leaving your shoulders, your back, your heart. And in this moment, I'd like you to tune in to your fingers and your hands. We're going to take things back to basics for a moment. As you tune in to your fingers and hands, you can clasp them in front of you if you desire. You can just be aware of them. I'd like you to just wiggle them, move them backwards and forwards. Move your fingers just a little. Enough so that you are consciously aware of the movement of your fingers. Become aware of how the bones are moving using the knuckles, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, your skin. Become aware of your fingernails. Don't leave your thumbs out. Become aware of your thumbs and how they move. Really perceive how they move. We use our hands every single day. We take them for granted. And yet they continue to show up for us. We bang them, we scrape them, we cut them, and yet they still do their absolute best to perform for us, to create with us, to love and nurture us. Perceive how those bones are connected to the ones running through the palms of your hands and down to your wrists. Perceive the wrist bones and all of the tendons and the ligaments and even the veins, all that beautiful blood pumping nutrients around your entire hand. Feel the warmth of your blood. Knowing that it's come from those incredible organs in your body, full of oxygen and nutrients for your muscles and everything else within your hands. The divine intelligence of your body to know exactly where the nutrients, where the blood is required at any moment. How many red cells and how many white cells. It's literally a marvel of creation. You are a marvel of creation. I'd now like you to take one hand and very, very lightly run it from wrist to finger of the other hand, fingertips. And when you get to the end, place your fingertips just lightly together, tip to tip, and then run the other hand, fingertips only, from fingertips all the way down to the other wrist. Perceiving the contact of your fingers as you do so. Acknowledging your ability to feel the lightest touch and your own unique energy. Now take your hands, that one that's now just sitting at your other wrist. Run it over to the other side of your hand. And now run it up to the fingertips again, just slowly and gently, till they are once again tip to tip. And now take that other hand all the way down to the base of your first wrist. Move your hands around to the prayer position. And now move them slightly apart. Maybe a couple of inches. Perceive what is going on in your hands now. You might feel tingling. You might feel warmth. You might feel that there is energy between your hands. It might feel a little bit like a spring, a spongy spring. This is your energy, your love, your unconditional love energy. This is your connection to you. And now I'd like you to imagine that there is heart-centered, unconditional love rolling from your heart down your arms all the way to your hands. And as that unconditional love from your heart space, from your divine healing intelligence, comes down your arms and into your hands and your fingertips, it heals and regenerates anything that is requiring the unconditional love. It regenerates your cells and molecules to their highest, most beautiful capacities, their greatest flexibility, their strength. If you feel like you wish to wiggle your fingers and your thumbs, please do so. Allow that energy, that unconditional love to flow all the way down and crossing over your fingertips so that unconditional love can flow all the way back through to your heart space and contribute back to your heart space. You are that potent. You are healing yourself. You are feeling what it feels like to have healing energies flowing through your hands. You are potent. You are magical. You are amazing. You have a gift. You have many gifts. You are a gift. And you are boundless possibilities. And now I'd like you to take your hands and face them inwards to your heart. Place them on your chest in your heart space. Feel the warmth within. And repeat after me. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I'd like you to imagine that you are underneath a big, huge waterfall, a crystalline waterfall, and the water is flowing over and through and around you and cleansing and clearing your body of any energies that are no longer desired or required in your body. Things that you'd like to let go of, so that it can go back to Mother Earth, where she can transmute them into other things. She's a wonderful creator like that. And now stepping out from underneath the big, beautiful, cleansing waterfall onto a lovely, warm river rock. Massive river rock where you feel the warmth of Mother Nature, Mother Earth under your feet. You'll perceive the warmth swirling around your feet with the unconditional love. You might see it as bright white opalescent light. And as that bright white opalescent light and warmth of Mother Earth come up through the body, all the way up through the heart space, through your throat, through third eye, through the crown, and floats all the way back down to Mother Earth, curling around within Mother Earth, and then back up through your body, breathing in as it moves up, 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 and breathing out as it moves down, 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 down. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up, 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 up. And Father Sky energy moving down through the crown, down through your body, all the way down. Mother Earth and the unconditional love moving all the way up. And now Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Brilliant. Well done. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Thank you for being in this sacred space with us tonight. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Take a big deep breath and have some water. Water and salt is very, very, very important. Please have plenty of it. And thank you, Julie, because I had missed Edwina and Melinda. So let me grab my book back. Edwina. Amaranthian. Amaranthian is an imaginary flower that never fades, just for notes. As we fall together, looking into each other's eyes, arms wrapped around, touching, feeling, memorizing. This is a time when nothing matters, not war, hunger, or sadness. Our love is all that counts for all too short a time, and so the longing returns, the smiles remain, and the love is eternal. Edwina, wherever you're at with your beautiful beloved, enjoy. Enjoy the space that you're in. Enjoy being with him. Enjoy what is going on with the softness that is being developed. And try not to focus too much on the things that make you sad. If he has to go away for work or whatever, it's okay. The smiles are what is important. Thank you for waiting. Melinda, equally, thank you for waiting. $56 for you. You are the love of my life and my rock. You are the one who makes me laugh even when I am crying. You are the one that I trust even when everyone else is against me. You are my heart, you are my companion, you are my soul, and I love you. Ah, you like writing love letters to yourself, don't you? You're gorgeous. And I don't think I know. All this work that you are doing, all this love that you're being, your most precious partner will be around that corner. Might be a few corners away, but he's around there. And all of the ho'oponopono that you're doing is helping to bring him to you. Because you realize that this is for you. You are being this for you. You are your heart, you are your companion, you are your soul, and you love you. That's the most beautiful place to be in. Congratulations. Okie dokie, my loves. That's me. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being so amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for spending time with me. I know it was a long one today. I'm grateful for every single one of you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. So until then, my beautiful, beautiful, amazing, potent Find You Fridays crew, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself. I don't really care what it is, but do something yummy and tasty and uplifting and nurturing and brings you back to your heart space, because you are all so worthy of that. I love you, sending you loads and loads and loads of unconditional love, because there is no limit to it. And until next week, bye-bye.